Paris Saint-Germain has just experienced the best season in its history. After winning the treble and finishing as Club World Cup runners-up, the challenge for Luis Enrique and his staff is to maintain the same rhythm and ambition. That's why it's expected that new players will arrive, and others, no longer in the club's plans, are on their way out. In this video, I'll show you which players are about to leave PSG. The club doesn't count on them anymore, and after watching, tell me in the comments if you think any of them should actually be kept by the team. According to Eurosport, PSG's list of released players was made public. The main reason behind these cuts is the club's desire to reduce the wage bill and, more importantly, find a direction for players Luis Enrique no longer wants in the squad. Some were already loaned out, while others are leaving to open space for new signings during this transfer window. 1. Baraldo. The first name on PSG's release list is Baraldo. This is not only because he wasn't a starter, but also due to the player's own request. The 21-year-old Brazilian centre-back didn't start regularly last season. Luis Enrique preferred a defensive duo made up of team captain Marquinhos and Ecuadorian Pacho, who was extremely consistent. Feeling left out and aiming for a place in Brazil's national squad for next year's World Cup, Baraldo asked to leave, and PSG did not oppose it. They are open to releasing him for €30 million. He played 38 matches last season, scoring once and assisting once. In PSG's Champions League winning campaign, Baraldo barely featured in key matches and didn't play in either the final against Inter Milan or the semi-final. That's why he sees departure as the best option, and PSG agrees, as long as the offer meets their expectations. 2. Milan Skriniar. Another defender not in PSG's plan for next season is Slovakian Milan Skriniar. Skriniar arrived with big expectations after a strong spell at Inter Milan, but he didn't live up to them in France. Last season, PSG loaned him to Turkish side Fenerbahce. After 28 appearances, 3 goals and 2 assists, PSG is now looking to transfer him permanently. With Beraldo likely leaving, Marquinhos and Pacho remain the main defenders, and Kimpembe is returning from injury. 3. Nordi Muciel. Another defender no longer in the club's plans is Frenchman Nordi Muciel, who was loaned to Bayer Leverkusen last season. At 27, Muciel has no space at PSG. His position is currently dominated by Hakimi, who's highly reliable, rarely injured or suspended, and performs well both defensively and offensively. So, PSG will also look for a new club for Muciel. 4. Renato Sanches. One of the biggest keys to PSG's successful season was its midfield. While Dembélé, Kvaratskhelia, Diu, and Barcola made headlines, the real core of the team was Fabian Ruiz, João Neves, and Vitinha. Because of this, players returning from loan, like Renato Sanches, won't have a spot in the squad. He was loaned to Benfica last season, and PSG doesn't plan on keeping him. 5. Carlos Sola. Everything said about Renato Sanches applies to Spanish midfielder Carlos Sola. Sola was loaned to West Ham in England and had a fairly average season there. He is also out of PSG's plans, as per Eurosport's report. 6. Kang In Lee. South Korean Kang In Lee was part of PSG's squad this past season and was used fairly often due to his versatility. He can play both as a central midfielder and a winger. However, he never came close to becoming a starter. Now, PSG is considering selling him. After winning the Champions League and finishing as Club World Cup runners-up, the club has plenty of funds to strengthen the team, especially in attack. Kang In Lee, who scored 7 goals and delivered 6 assists in 49 games, had decent numbers for a backup, but PSG is aiming for even higher quality on the bench. 7. Marco Asencio. Spanish forward Marco Asencio, 29, spent the second half of the season on loan at Aston Villa. Asencio is a quality player, but with players like Diu, Kvaratskhelia, Dembélé, and Barcola ahead of him, PSG is ready to sell him. He scored 10 goals and provided 5 assists in 37 matches. Finding a buyer shouldn't be difficult. 8. Randall Kolo Muani. French international Randall Kolo Muani is a divisive name. Some believe he could still be useful for PSG. He spent last season on loan at Juventus, where he performed well, scoring 12 goals and adding 4 assists in 36 games. Despite his talent and high market value, Luis Enrique doesn't want to rely on him. At 26, Kolo Muani is back on the market and will likely draw strong interest. 9. Gonçalo Ramos. The final name is Portuguese striker Gonçalo Ramos. Although he had a good season statistically, scoring 19 goals and providing 6 assists in 46 games, he doesn't fit Luis Enrique's tactical vision, which favors a more mobile number 9. Ramos was often used due to being the only natural centre-forward in the squad, but players like Dembele, Diu, or Barcola better suited the system. PSG is now open to offers for Gonçalo Ramos as well. Final thoughts, general wrap-up. So now I want to hear from you. Of these 9 players not in PSG's plans, is there anyone you think the club should reconsider? For me, Kolo Muani, being young and fast, could still fill in for Dembele's role in some games. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you tomorrow for another one. Take care and see you soon.